Hey guys, so April is over. Wow, it went so fast, but it was such a busy month, and I guess I'm glad it's over just so I can move on from everything that happened in April. But yeah, I read I think 11 books this month, so obviously it's time for my wrap up, and I will show you what my TBR is for May. So the first book that I read in April was one that was on my TBR for the month. So I read The Complete Mouse by Art Spiegelman. Sorry if I'm not saying that right. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars, and it is a graphic novel of the Holocaust, but from a mouse's perspective, but it's not really. His father was like in the Holocaust, so he's basically telling his story, but instead of drawing people, he drew mouses to like represent the Jews, cats to represent something, I think the Americans, and pigs to, or was it pigs that were the Americans? I read this a long time ago. I know it was pigs, cats, and mice. Mouses? Mice. So that was interesting because it made it easier to understand, I guess, instead of if there were people, then you'd be like, who was that? But yeah. So I did give this 3 out of 5 stars. I read it, I think, in a day. But yeah, it was good. So, yes. So the next book that I read this month was on my TBR for this month. And I did pretty good at that this month for once. So that was Go Ask Alice. And it says it's by Anonymous, but I learned that it's actually about a girl named Beatrice, I think. I was getting people commenting on my video, which helped because I guess I had a really bad interpretation. So she's like a psychiatrist or whatever, and she writes it like that, so it's not like about a real girl or anything. So that was kind of disappointing because I found that after I read this. But because I read it before I knew the truth about it, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So this is a diary of a girl who is doing drugs and stuff. So it's almost like Crank, but I thought Crank was better. So yeah, 4 out of 5 stars to this. The next book I read was another book that was on my TBR for this month, and it's one that everybody's read, so I was very excited to finally read it. And that is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I loved this book. St. Clair. Oh my god. So now I see what all the hype is about because I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. And it was a really quick read for me. I think it only took me like 2 days, and it's not like a little book, but just the pacing was good and you just wanted to know what was happening. Anna's character kind of bugged me a little bit, but I did a review about this on my blog. Yes, I've started actually using my blog, so I link that in the description all the time. So you can go check that out if you want to know more of my thoughts on this. But yeah, I really loved it. The next book I read this month was not on my TBR for the month, but that is What Happened to Cass McBride by Gail Giles. So I've been wanting to read this book for a long time, and it kind of met my expectations because I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Did I say that? I don't think I said that. So this book is told in 3 different perspectives, because this girl, Cass McBride, gets kidnapped. So it talks from her perspective, the guy that took her perspective, and the detective that is trying to find her. So that was pretty interesting. The font is pretty big. So, but I did enjoy it, and there's not much I can say about it because it was a short book, but I did like it. So I guess I recommend that you guys check this out if you're into the kind of CSI kind of stuff. That's what this kind of was. The next book I read was also not on my TBR for this month, and that is Remembering Raquel by Vivian Van Velde. So this is about a girl named Raquel, and she dies. Not like murder or anything. Well, I guess. It's hard to explain. Like, it was an accident. So it's basically all these different people's perspectives that she's known through her life, just talking about how they knew her and how they're remembering her, and I didn't like it that much. I found it kind of boring, and I guess I didn't see the point. There wasn't like a plot, like I felt like the story didn't go anywhere. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but I might change it to 2. Not sure. So then I decided to get back onto my planned TBR for the month, and I read Carrie by Stephen King. I have mixed emotions about this book, but I did give it a 4 out of 5, so I did like it. I have to keep looking because I forget what I rated them. I liked the story. I liked where it went. I was very impressed with the writing and like everything. I thought it was very well done. But it wasn't as scary as everybody said it was. I don't know if the movie is scarier because you see it, so that makes me really want to watch the movie. So yeah, I just didn't find it scary, but it was interesting. Yeah, like even on the back it says gory and horrifying. And then I finished it and I'm like, did I miss something? But I don't know, it was still good. So this book is about a girl named Carrie, and it's told from third person perspective. But it covers like everybody, like what's going on. It talks about everybody. So Carrie is different. What's the word? She's like got powers, like she can move stuff. I forget what the word for that is. It's like telekinetic or something? Telekinesis? I don't know. But she gets bullied at school. Like she's the outcast, she's the loser, people don't like her, people don't want to talk to her, they make fun of her, like they're mean to her, they throw stuff at her. So then she learns she has this power and she starts using it. And she causes a lot of trouble, and a lot of people are affected by this. So I guess that's where they see it as gory, but if you've heard of this, then you'll know there's a part from prom that happens to her, and that kind of puts her over the edge. And I don't want to say it for those who don't know, because like I knew going into it would happen because my dad told me because he's seen the movie. So I won't say anything, but if you've read it or seen it, you know. And it's gross. So yeah, I did like it, and it makes me look forward to reading more Stephen King books and seeing this movie. So the next book I read was not on my TBR for this month either, but I don't know what made me want to pick this up. I don't know. So I got I read I Am J by Chris B. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Yes. This book is about a person that was born a girl but decides they're going to be a guy. So their name is Jay. So I guess him. And it's just basically his life and how he deals with being transgendered in high school and stuff. And it was interesting to see like that kind of perspective and stuff, even if it's just a fake perspective. 3 out of 5. This next book that I read wasn't on my TBR for this month either, but like with Anne and the French Kiss, everybody's read it, so I had to read it. So I read The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. And it was a good book. I don't understand, I guess, what's the big thing about this book. I didn't cry. I didn't get sad either. And everybody told me, oh, get your tissues ready, it's so sad, you're gonna cry. I cried. And once I finished it, I was like, I think I missed something again. I don't know if it was like the end or like, I don't know. I don't know what I missed. So yeah, I don't know what I missed at all, but yeah, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay. It was cute, but it was just okay for me. Sorry. So this next book that I read, I don't think was on my TBR for the month, but I read Girl Interrupted by Susanna Kaysen, and I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. I was gonna give it 2, so it's like 2.5 for me. This book is about, it's like a biography. It's like hers, so autobiography. of she had to stay in like a mental institution for, I think it was like 2 years. And it's just her talking about like what went on there and stuff. So I guess for that reason I didn't find it that interesting, because some of the things she says I was like, because as I was reading this I was kind of like in a mental place. It wasn't like a mental institution though, it was like a hospital, but she's in a hospital here. So it's kind of the same thing. I think we were both in a basement too. So I guess because I was kind of living what she was living where the book was, I guess that's why I couldn't really, but at the same time I guess I understood too, so that's why I rounded up to a 3. But yeah, it was okay. The next book that I read was the last one that I read that was on my TBR for this month. So that was Blood Secrets by Rod Englert. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars because I didn't enjoy that much. I thought it was going to be interesting and like CSI. It was so boring. Some of the cases and stuff that they talked about were interesting, but the rest was just so boring. It's like, not like CSI, he just really like talks about the way you analyze blood patterns and blood splatter and stuff. So I guess if you're interested in this kind of thing, then that's good, but since I'm not, I really wasn't that interested, and it took me a long time to get through this. So, 2 out of 5. And then finally, I read The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom, because I loved The Timekeeper so much. That's like one of my favorite books ever. So I wanted to read this one to see, you know, what else he can do. But I was pretty disappointed. I give this book 3 out of 5 stars. It's basically about an older gentleman who dies, and on his journey into heaven, he meets 5 different people that he's impacted their life on, or that have impacted his life. So I found it kind of boring too. I was very disappointed because The Timekeeper was so good. So, 3 out of 5. So the book that I'm currently reading, because I didn't get to finish it this month, which bugs me, which is The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. This book has kind of put me in a reading slump because I haven't read for about a week. And that sucks. Like, even when I did my Friday Reads video, I was hoping to knock out like 3 books that weekend. I didn't even knock out 1. I don't even think I read like 5 pages. So I'm still halfway. I'm on page 144. So hopefully I can finish this really soon, because it's just bothering me that I haven't finished it yet. It's not that it's bad. I guess find it kind of slow. But you're just reading her diary, so yeah. So now we get to talk about the books that I will be reading in May. So the 2 that I didn't finish that I had planned to read this month are getting bumped into May. So that is Everybody Sees the Ants by A.S. King and The Duff by Cody Keplinger. Both of these sounded so interesting, so I was so disappointed that I didn't get to them. So these will be the first 2 that I read in May. I will be reading Famous by Todd Strasser. I don't know what this is about, but I will be hauling it in my May book haul. So, I don't know. I don't know what it's about, but it's short, so I hope to get through it very quickly, because I would really like to get through all the books on my TBR for this month. Then I will be reading Heist Society by Allie Carter. I think this is a book about like criminals and stuff, but like teenagery. So that's exciting because this one is kind of short too. So I'm excited. Then the 3rd book I will be reading this month is one that I'm very happy got chosen, and that is Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, because I read Cinder and I think I gave it like 3 out of 5 stars. But I'm strangely excited for this one, I guess because I'm just hoping it will be better. And I loved Little Red Riding Hood, so I think it will be very, very good. And just reading the summary, I get very excited. And this is a big book though. So, but I'm very excited to read this, and hopefully it will be better than Cinder. And then finally, the last book I plan to read for this month, even though I'll probably be reading more than 6, is Skinny Dipping by Bethany Frankel. I don't know what this is about, but I've seen her on Ellen a few times. I think it's an adult book. So, yeah. I don't know. But if it's been on my TBR for a little while, so, you know, at least then it gets read. So yeah. Those were all the books that I read in the month of April and all the books that I plan to read in the month of May. So thank you for watching. If you've read any of the books that I read or any of the books that I plan to read, you know, let me know all that down in the comments. I love reading your comments and replying to them, and yeah. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you guys had a good reading month for April and the best of luck in May. So I will see you guys tomorrow for a really big book haul. Bye!